Good evening. Hey, Carrie here. Tonight we're going to talk about the differences of traditional and functional orthodontics. Traditional orthodontics you'll find practiced in over 95% of all orthodontic offices in America. Reason? They need less education, less training, and the money's about the same as the functional orthodontists. Now, the functional orthodontists are a lot better trained in different tools, and one thing they will do is get you to leave with a full set of 32 teeth. Also, they'll worry about your whole face as a whole, including your airway, your jaw joints, and your facial profile, where a traditional orthodontist will only worry about one thing, and that is that you leave with straight teeth. And I can tell you, being a victim of poor traditional orthodontists, that's all they worry about. Believe me, you're a number and you're out. Okay, when you go see a traditional orthodontist, what they'll do is they will use retractive tools to force everything backwards because it's very easy to use braces and power chains. Now, about 1 out of 5 cases in the U.S. they're currently extracting teeth, and maybe almost half in the U.K. From what I've seen anyway, just from random videos on here and trying to docket it and average it all out. I'm just a numbers girl. But anyway, what happens when they take your teeth out is they're forced to retract everything backwards to close the gaps, and they do that pretty simply with power chains. Some people say, oh, my teeth got straight real quick after I had them extracted. Well, sure, you solved a 2 millimeter problem with a 6 to 8 millimeter solution, so now you're going to spend about a year with power chains getting those gaps to close. As the gaps close, you're losing your tongue space, you're losing your airway, and your TMJ joints are now forced to sit in a different position. And most likely, 5 to 10 years later, you'll start having jaw joint pain. Well, functional orthodontists know this, and that's why they take your face as a whole. And they work with your upper arch. So if you have an overjet or overbite, they will move your lower jaw forward in order to make everything work functionally for you. If you go to a traditional orthodontist, they will move everything backwards and they'll say your upper jaw is just out too far, and that's because it's easy for them and they're trained on the tools to do that. The other problem here is that most insurance companies only cover work done at a traditional orthodontist, so a lot of people are stuck going to traditional orthodontists. And I mean, even the extractions, to some extent, are covered on insurance, which it should never be because you're creating yourself long-term health problems. I'd like to see somebody take that orthodontic consent form I talked about in one of my previous videos to a medical doctor and say, I have crooked teeth, so I'm going to risk TMJ and sleep apnea. It doesn't even make logical sense. They claim also in some studies that that TMJ is not caused by orthodontic work. Well, I don't know how that's even possible or relevant because you're moving what's supporting your jaws around, and they're not going to sit on the same joint. It's just not going to happen, especially if you have extractions done. Now, there are some traditional orthodontists that have moved along and are doing some functional things. I want to give them credit because there are a few out there. But if you're at a traditional orthodontist or you've been going to one and they've recommended teeth be extracted, I want you to go to iaortho.org and find a functional orthodontist in your area that will work with all 32 teeth. It's just like having a chessboard. Do you want 32 pieces or do you want 24 pieces? It's up to you. But anyway, so many people email me about overbites. I think that's probably the most common thing they email me about. And they either are told they need 2 or 4 teeth extracted. Well, all you're going to do then is move your upper teeth backwards. Well, now your lower teeth are forced backwards too. Your mandible is pulled back. And yeah, your TMJ joint is going to be affected. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, leave a comment, whatever. Have a great night, and thank you. Bye.